Drinking water from a cactus. If absolutely needed for survival, you could get some water out of a fishhook barrel cactus, but only in limited amounts. Most cactuses have various acids and other fun things in the water that will make you shit yourself to death. Dehydration in the desert isn't a laughing matter, and you don't want to lose the precious bit of water left in your body to the desert ground.
It's the Quenchiest.
Running in a zigzag to outrun an alligator. Alligators don't run for long distances, so this will probably just waste your energy. They can also climb some fences and trees as well.
Just run straight. No question, just book it. The alligator will eventually decide it's had enough. Edit. Okay, I'm getting too many people pointing out that gators are faster. It doesn't matter if they can catch you. Believe me, I checked. Wild alligators rarely chase humans on dry land. In some situations they might, but usually they don't bother. Who cares how fast they can run if they aren't even going to run you? So stop.
That bullshit. Change your voicemail if you are lost. PSA that was making the rounds over the last year. You need a cell signal to change your voicemail. If you have a signal, then why wouldn't you just *** call for help? Moreover, it misses the most important thing about US cell phones and being lost. 911 will work on any cell tower regardless if it's in network, or even if you have an active phone plan or not. So in an emergency, always try dialing 911 regardless of your phone appears to have signal or not.
Greater than US cell phones and being lost. 911 will work on any cell tower. This also works in Europe and most likely a lot more countries. Just make sure you know the local emergency number. Emergency calls are top priority. If a cell tower is at capacity and your phone pings for an emergency call, the tower ** will drop other phones * to make your call come through. As always, emergency calls are always free.
The desert is hot and little clothing is best. Cover up during both the day and the night. The sun will burn you and dehydrate you very quickly. During the night, it's really common for people to die of hypothermia because the temperature drops so fast. And honestly, living here, during the winter it gets to the low 20s pretty often. And the wind is awful. Edit to add. It's dry heat here. There's no moisture in the air majority of the year. You can drop dead from heat stroke, barely sweating.
Desert people dress head to toe in loose fabric. I think they've figured out a good system over the past few thousand years.
That moss grows on the north side of a tree. It can grow all over the tree, so it's not a steadfast rule that you should make important decisions solely on.
I grew up in the rainy PNW, and when I heard this as a little kid, I looked at all the moss on every side of the trees and thought that I must just live in the most north place lol. Edit. I swear if I read another comment about how it would actually be the most south place, I might lose my dang mind more than it's already been lost.
If you're in a tornado, open all your windows to equalize the pressure inside to match the outside. If you're in a tornado, opening any window or door will create a wind tunnel that rips your entire roof off.
If I recall correctly, it doesn't matter anyway. You waste time doing that when you need to get to the lowest part of a building and/or the innermost room. Cracks and small openings take care of air pressure as buildings aren't airtight. Overpasses are not safe places to shelter. In fact, they're more dangerous. They create wind tunnels. Average lead time for tornado warnings in the US is 9 minutes, but people still don't take them seriously. The most common refrain I've read from people who survived the Joplin tornado is that they didn't take the warnings seriously. Even with a tornado watch, they didn't pay attention to the weather.
If a shark is coming after you, swim away. If a shark is coming towards you in the first place, it's most likely just curious and wants to check you out. Swimming away and thrashing about will further intrigue it to keep following you. Instead, redirect it by running your hand along its side and carefully positioning it to swim away from you. Side note. If one happens to bite you, poke, stab it in the eyes or pull on its gills instead of bopping it in the nose. Gills and eyes are far more sensitive than a shark's nose. Edit. Loads of replies about how punching underwater is practically impossible, and you'd be 100% right. Fixed.
Shark. Oh hey, what's T-shove, alright, I see how it is. Edit. Whoa, I can finally claim a non-horrible post as my top.
Follow flying birds to find water. They can simply be flying to spend a night anywhere, so we can't rely on them.
Colorado is landlocked and dry as fuck and barely has any water beyond a handful of man-made reservoirs. There are seagulls here. Don't listen to birds.
Lightning never strikes twice in the same place. If lightning has found a path that it likes to the ground, it's extremely likely to strike there multiple times. That's why lightning rods work. That used to be the first part of a joke when I first heard it in the 70s or 80s. The second part, when you ask why, is because the same place isn't there twice. Yuck yuck. Somehow over the years the first part took on a life of its own and became a wrong fact.
Concerning frostbite, do not rub someone's frostbitten skin or pour hot water on it to warm them up. Such measures will damage the skin even more severely.
The fastest and safest method for warming up someone is direct animal heat, i.e. letting them put their frosty skin next to yours. Hey, if you can keep your digits by putting a cold hand on my belly, be my guest.
If you're in a hot area, don't ration your water. Drink when you feel thirsty and search for more water. Edit. The myth to be avoided is rationing your water. Don't ration.
Ration sweat, not water. Thank you USAF Survival School. Edit. Wow, this blew up lol. At Sarah's school they teach you to find shade and try to do as little as possible during the hotter times of the day. If you have to move, you do so when it cools off. Rationing your water doesn't help you, it will only dehydrate you and impair your judgment. Your brain needs water. Depriving yourself of proper hydration is the best way to unintentionally kill yourself.
If your plane is crashing, an inflatable raft makes a terrible parachute.
And yet, I'd still grab the raft if my options are raft or nothing. At least that way I'll die a captain.
Conserving water. You should not stretch a glass of water over 4 days. When you are thirsty, you need water.
I've heard people die of dehydration while still having water because they tried to conserve it.
Drinking alcohol when you are freezing will keep you warm. It won't, it will bring on hypothermia much sooner.
Agreed, but you will feel warmer, so if you're going to die anyway, it may be a better way to go out.
You cannot eat everything that an animal can eat. There are things animals can eat that humans find toxic, so eating everything you see animals eating can lead to you potentially eating deadly berries or mushrooms.
Yeah, and it goes both ways. Humans can eat stuff like chocolate and grapes, and other animals can't eat chocolate, and I know dogs definitely can't eat grapes.
Just because water looks clean doesn't mean it is. You've gotta boil it or distill it to actually have clean water.
Or carry a modern filter like a Life straw or Sawyer if you think there's even a remote chance you're going to be stranded with no potable water. I'll also add that drinking dirty water is always a better option than going without water. If you are dehydrated but don't have a way to sanitize your water, drink the water anyway. There's a chance it will make you sick or maybe even kill you in very rare cases, but dehydration will always kill you.
Pulling out something that is impaling you.
The rule is, if it's in, keep it in, if it's out, keep it out. Until you can get help.
Split to cover more ground.
Gotta blame Fred and Daphne for this.
Most of the stuff Bear Grylls does. Like eating raw meat, picking and eating fruit out of bear shit, or squeezing the juice out of elephant shit and drinking it.
Or even just running as fast as you can and sliding down embankments like he does. My favorite Bear Grylls navigation moment was when he decided he didn't want to try to get over a mountain pass, and noticed a cave, then figured it would certainly go through the mountain, and went in with a makeshift torch, swam through a fully submerged channel extinguishing his torch, and then, made it through to the other side.
That you'll be totally safe if you only eat plants, fungi you recognize. Hemlock looks a lot like wild parsnips. Basically all wild almonds will kill you if you eat more than one. And of course there's the Chris McCandless potato seed thing.
Wait, what? Wild almonds will kill you? And what is this potato seed thing you speak of?
You can drink water from a cactus. Any liquid inside a cactus will be highly acidic and likely to cause nausea and diarrhea, further dehydrating you.
The notable exceptions to this rule are the prickly pear and one species of barrel cactus, the fishhook barrel, Pheracactus wislizeni. While both of these plants are fairly unpleasant to eat raw, they have less concentrated levels of the detrimental chemicals and could give you a bit of hydration in a pinch.
That you can give somebody CPR and they'll be fine moments later like nothing happened.
Medic. Can confirm. Most likely, they will die. ETA. A lot of people are commenting that someone is already dead if we're doing CPR. But that depends on your definition of dead. The line is blurred more and more. Not every cardiac arrest has no rhythm. Some have one but they're not useful for pumping blood. Some have none at all. Is brain death dead? Then no, not all cardiac arrests are dead. Is it when the heart ceases to beat effectively? Then yes, they all are.
Stand in a doorway in an earthquake.
Live in an earthquake-prone area. The doorway will collapse. You'd have better luck with the coffee table.